Hello, hello, hello. How is everybody doing? I hope you are having a wonderful Thanksgiving. I'm Verna Collins Odom, and this, believe it or not, is Podbites with Verna. Yes, it has been a long time since we have had a show. Obviously, the last time I was in the UK when we had a show during the period when the queen died, and but I'm going to explain to you why I was there and that sort of thing. But I did want to come back and say that I have missed you guys. I've been away just getting stuff done around the house with family and just a lot of obligations that have been blessings but taking time, and so it's taking time away from you, and I've missed being in this place. But I want you to say hello to somebody for me. They are here with me. We're doing something a little different today. I wanted to do a tease today just to let you know that the season is starting. You are going to be so excited to, first of all, know what the season is about, I hope. Here with me is Eric Collins, and you might remember him. First of all, I know him. He is my brother. Hey, Eric, how are
Hi, how
you?
are you?
Good to see you. Thank you for
Good to be
coming.
here.
Obviously, Eric came into town to hang out with family. He's on holiday. He lives in London. And Eric, I wanted you to come in because I'm starting my season again. Of course, we already talked about how you helped to get this all started off the ground. Gave me a challenge to start on Podbites, which I have loved. Taking a little break. I'm back strong, I'm hoping. And Eric has done something really interesting. He has written a book, and this book, you're always proud of your sibling or your family member when they do something great, but this book has really impacted my life. I have been reading the book. I'm on the last chapter, of course. You read in between time, and I want to take notes. So I can't read when I'm driving, listening to audio. There's an audio book as well. But the name of the book is We Don't Need Permission. I have one of the proofs, the earlier copies. We also have the main book here, the real book that's out. We Don't Need Permission. It's the book, and you can see how Black business can change our world. And the reason I wanted to talk with Eric is because that is actually going to be what our season is about this year. We don't need permission. Every time I say that title to somebody, they're like, oh, that means something different to people. Eric, really quickly, talk to us about what this book is about. Why did you do this, and why did you feel that this was a time to write this kind of book?
So, thank you for having me, and it is a privilege to be on a show with my sibling. So, thank you for having me again. Uh, we don't need permission is really a manifesto because time is running out.
Hmm.
And why are we waiting for something to happen or for someone else to take responsibility or for someone else to be the agent of change, which Black people and women actually need in order to get the results we want in the world? So it felt to me that there were a lot of books that were out that were sort of in the self help approach, how I as an individual can do things. There are others that are sort of talking about sort of what needs to be done societally, like The Devil You Know by Charles Blow, which is a great book. And then the question of the strategy to actually get change. We know what the change is that we want to see. How do we actually get change? And the one thing that I have never seen is I've never seen anyone talk about the role that is required. What is the necessary component that is needed if you want to have change and monumental change to happen in a short period of time?
Mm.
What is the tool that makes that happen? And the tool that makes that happen is creating large-scale businesses, businesses that rival businesses like Amazon or businesses that rival businesses like Meta. Those are the sorts of business within a short generation have actually changed the way that we behave as people, the way that we interact, the way that economies work. Those are transformative businesses. And we've never had a Black woman, we've never had a Black man who's actually had the lead role and been sort of the founder of one of these transformative businesses. And this book talks about how we need to make sure that happens and what role can I play, what role can you play, what role can we play in terms of making sure that we get those sorts of Black businesses, not small scale Black businesses, which are sensational, but the ones that are going to be really transformative. That's what we're looking for. And so the reason to write the book was because I didn't know anyone else who had my set of experiences as a consultant, having gone to law school, then having been a consultant, then having run technology companies, and then having started a venture capital company, and then having, had a television show about investing. Those sorts of experiences are relatively individual, but they have given me access and they've given me insight into a lot of strategies. So this makes sense for me as the time to write the book and then present it to the world, not just a nation, but hopefully the world, as something that we as Black people and women can actually follow as a bit of a how-to and a playbook.
One thing I find that's interesting is I know that you all might remember that Eric is a venture capitalist. He lives in the UK and he is all about trying to raise funding for Black owned and women owned and run businesses. He is looking for change all the way through the levels. So he's not just going in trying to figure out, hey, how can I make you more profitable, but how can this impact your society? How can this improve people's lifestyles, people's not their lifestyle, but their kind of a generational. You're looking to make changes for generations. You're looking to upend really businesses and how businesses are run and where people find people to run their businesses. Or I know you're often called a serial entrepreneur. And in the UK, Eric, of course, is the moneymaker. We talked about that before, which is kind of the equivalent of the Prophet here in the United States from the same, I think the same group.
It is NBC Universal.
Yes, and so that is the company, and you're chosen, and you go there. You've been there only 8-9 years, but you are kind of setting yourself apart. And I just wanted to let everybody know I went to the UK. Eric invited me when he was doing his book launch, and very exciting to go to this program to see Eric signing books and getting a stack of books from the editor. The publisher coming in with a stack of books, getting you to sign those, preparing for a big crowd of 500 folks who showed up, a cross section of people, older people, younger people, Black people, white people, people from various socioeconomic groups. I just was so just excited to see kind of the reception to this book. It really amazed me. And of course, it had to be canceled. That was the night that the Queen passed. And so we were at Southwark Cathedral. And that, of course, is part of the Church of England. And as such, they had to go into a period of mourning. So Eric came out. He had a very high profile interview that he was doing with somebody who was going to be speaking about the book. And even though the tour technically, not the tour, the launch technically wasn't done in the way that it was supposed to, where you were supposed to have this really nice reception and you were going to have talking to this person and interviewing him, Eric ended up speaking to people firsthand about how they were impacted by this book. And as your sister, it really amazed me at how people, like I said, from all walks of life were really moved, not just people who are entrepreneurs, some people who wanted to be entrepreneurs, wanted to start their own business, but some people who were in spaces that they just did not want to be in any longer. And they were really, coming forward and saying, this book has meant to me, it's kind of been a roadmap for how I can do something and not ask somebody, can I do something, but how I can make a change in my life that is going to make for my peace, my family's security and all sorts of things. So I just wanted to come on with you. We actually are going to do something interesting. We have another former guest. It's Thanksgiving, so we're downstairs. We just had dinner. Our friend, family member is here. We're going to get together and we are going to go over some good points of the book. And that is going to be our first full episode of Podbites with Verna. And that's going to be the season. The season's going to be talking to people about, you don't need permission. I remember Eric talking to Mommy, and when we got home and she saw this book, it harkened her back to the period of the civil rights movement. Right. She's like, I like that title. We don't need permission. And she's talking about marching, and she's talking about, it's just, I don't want to go on and on, but I could go on and on about this book. But anyway, so we are going to wrap it up. I really appreciate you coming. We're going downstairs, actually. We're going to have a little dessert, and we're going to talk about the book, and that's going to be our first episode. So I hope you join us for that. I hope you come in and watch. And if you have something that you have done or some reason that you feel like you don't need permission to do something, I, first of all, suggest you get the book. But second of all, give me a text or something. Send me a note, because I would love to have you on the show to talk about kind of how you are trying to overcome or have overcome something or decided that you were going to do something differently and not need to ask permission to do it.
2023 is the year we, as Black people and women, need to stop asking for permission, which is evidenced in a variety of ways, whether it's, I want to belong to your club, I want to get a promotion from you, all of those things which are perfectly fine to do, but they are permission requesting. They are putting the power of your future in someone else's hands. And if we can get out of that dynamic, which is a shift of mindset, a shift of how we define success, a shift in how we think about acceptance, that is the first step in what I believe is ultimately a fundamental, lasting, and sustained change for women and people of color around the world. That's what we're looking for.
I have a million questions, and I am taking them over to the show. We're going to continue downstairs. Let's get some tea, get a little dessert, and we'll head down there, okay?
Excellent.
All
Look
right.
forward to it.
Thank you all so much, and we will see you once I get that on. Have a great rest of your day. I see that Sheila, hey Sheila, do you remember Sheila from the
I
neighborhood is
certainly
watching?
do.
Thank you so much for tuning in. We're going to have more on with Eric, and as I said, we are starting this series, so hopefully you'll watch it. And I know Sheila has some stuff that she has pushed through and said that she definitely did not need permission for it. So she and I have been in talks about that. So thank you all for tuning in, and we will see you later. Have a great rest of your Thanksgiving day.
Happy
Take
Thanksgiving.
care. Bye now.